Good afternoon, gentlemen. Welcome to the Week 2 awards, Week 3 preview, and the updated rankings. With a little update with everything that's been going on in the chat. I thought something that would be fun was I looked at what the different records in the NFL were, compared it to the records in the league, and figured, we'll go with that. That's what our awards will be this week. So depending on what your record is in this league, I found what records in the NFL were and compared it to that. So right off the bat, Dupe, who's 2-0, I gave him the Seahawks because years of irrelevancy, won a ring years ago, 5 years ago in our league, and the Seahawks won a ring 11 years ago in 2013. But since then, it's been years of absolute irrelevancy in both the NFL and in this league. So you're 2-0, and the question of shaking off the cobwebs is begging to be answered. Let's see if you can keep up that 2-0 streak. For myself, I gave, who's also 2-0, I gave myself the Saints. Fraudulent, quiet 2-0. But easy to see how this definitely may not last. Jones, 0-2, I gave you the Panthers. Like the Panthers going to Dalton, I think it's time for you to make a little change and make a shakeup. But who knows? I think with the Panthers, they're going to win some games down the stretch. With you, Zach, I think once you get CMC back in 2 to 3 weeks, you'll win some games down the stretch as well. Borelli, I gave you the Eagles. He had a very flashy week 1 disappointment follow-up. But, like Philadelphia fans, you are very loud and passionate about your team. So, yeah, you got the Eagles, brother. Dan, Commanders, you had a bad week 1, but you got a charity victory on Sunday. So, Dan gave you the Commanders. Congratulations. Drost, I gave you the Lions. I know the Lions won week 1, lost week 2. You lost week 1, won week 2. But I think that, like Dan Campbell, Dan Campbell's the league's biggest meathead, and you're our league's biggest meathead. So yeah, I give you Dan Campbell, and that's a compliment, by the way. Jake, I gave you the Rams, because like the Rams, brother, I'd be hitting that panic button real quick. But yeah, I also gave last one, John, I gave you the Giants just because, not only would I be nuking that panic button, but you seem very directionless, like the New York Giants. All right. Speaking of John, myself versus John this week, 50 versus 50 in our, that's what Sleeper said. I'm going to give myself a nice 3-0 start. I think I win this game. I have Mike, 46% favored versus Dan's 54. I give Dan a victory this week because he is playing against Mike. Borelli versus Drost, 50 versus 50. I give it to Drost. Frankie, another 50 versus 50. Frankie versus Dupe. I am favoring Frankie in this matchup. And Jake, 47 versus Jones's 53. I am favoring Jake in this matchup to get his first victory. Updated rankings, I have Mike at 10, no surprise. At 9, another no surprise. I have Jones at 8. I have John at 7. I have Jake at 6. Dan, 5. Drost, 4. Borelli, 3. Dupe. Surprise. I know Sleeper has me as 2, but 2 in my rankings. I have Frankie, and then 1, I have myself. So that is the Week 2 awards, the Week 3 preview, and the updated rankings. Now, the last thing I want to say, because I know we were talking about it Sunday, got brought up again yesterday, got brought up today. Mike, I am talking directly to you, because you have a lot of people calling for your head. And, it is a little tough to defend you in terms of this happened last year where you slept till 1:30 and you left someone who was, I believe, on a bye last year in your lineup. Kenneth Walker was questionable for the majority of last week. And I understand you took your bike to Belchertown Sunday. You traveled right before kickoff. But I am talking directly to you when I say people wanted you out of this league. Borelli brought up the good point that there are other members in this league who talk as little as you do. You might talk more than one of them, who makes as little trades as you do. But I am just letting you know that if you fuck up again with this whole roster mismanagement, my hands are tied and I will have to kick you out of the league. To a fault, I'm a very passionate and emotional person. You guys all know this. Sometimes I let my emotions get the best of me. Mike, I do not want to remove you. I do not want to remove Dan. I don't want to remove John for quietness in the chat, quietness in trades and everything. But Mike, I am talking solely to you about this roster mismanagement. I understand Borelli's argument and your argument of this is your $125 that you wish to piss away. But in terms of mismanaging that roster, and if you were 0-2, I'd give you the New York Giants award, because like Brian Daboll, it's a mismanagement of roster. Brian Daboll could have activated a kicker all week because Graham Gano was suffering through a quad injury. He didn't do it. They went into the game with 52 men on the roster. Usually you go into games with 53. Daboll went into the game with 52, and that's why we lost Sunday. You knew of Kenneth Walker being questionable all week. It does not take long to check on a lineup. And why I'm saying this directly to you, Mike, is because you have Borelli and you have myself in your corner. And I'd be counting your blessings that you have us in your corner. Okay? But if you fuck up this roster one more time, whether it's you bench someone that gets you 45 points, I'm not talking about that. I am talking solely about not checking questionability, injuries, or buys. If you fuck up that, Mike, my hands will be tied. I will have to remove you. I don't want to, but I'm just letting you know it has come to that. All right, gentlemen, looking forward to week 3. Hope you guys all have a great night. I'll see you in the chat.